DeAndre Jordan doesn't look like he knows how to read. Well, I just read that, you idiot.
Just when you think that it's only the fans of the game who can be petty as hell on Twitter and roast these world-class athletes, it surely humbles you when you see the players themselves engaging in Twitter wars, ranging from name-calling, uncensored cussing, plain lies, below-the-belt shots, full-on trolling moments, and whatnot. These players are just as human, and their mean streaks on Twitter have proven it. So let's take a look at 10 Twitter beefs between NBA stars that shocked us all really bad. At number 10, we start off an explosive beef between Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns. A real-life beef which quickly took the digital route. Philadelphia were playing Minnesota in 2019 when Towns' mother gave Embiid the finger, and Embiid later celebrated the win on Twitter, saying that he was raised around lions and a cat pulled on him that night. It was worth noting that both of them had been ejected in the game too. Shots continued to be fired, where Embiid had taken shots at KAT for never going to the playoffs, referencing a second-round playoff loss picture that KAT had shared of him on Instagram, saying, "Don't get it twisted, I own you." Embiid then took it again to Twitter, hurling profanities at KAT and saying how he should talk only after making the playoffs and how Embiid had been kicking his ass. Damn, Joel, don't do him that dirty. KAT then came with his own reply, just trolling Embiid's "raised by lions" comment before his feud finally simmered down for good. Moving quickly to number 9, we have Kyle Kuzma and Spencer Dinwiddie locking horns on Twitter, where it started with Spencer Dinwiddie taking shots at Kuzma on FanDuel's Run It Back show, questioning his star status and work ethic. Kuzma clapped back, and clapped back hard at Dinwiddie, engaging in a Twitter thread for the ages where he just, quite simply, ripped him apart. He called him Din shitty. He said he lived in his head rent-free, said he's bounced around the NBA like a basketball, and highlighted his rather embarrassing stats. Dinwiddie tried to set the record straight, but you know what? We as spectators had already seen what we needed to from this feud and loved it. Jumping to number 8, we have Kyle Kuzma once again involved in a mini beef, but that's all thanks to his trainer, as he decided to go against none other than the legend himself, LeBron James. In 2019, Kuzma's trainer Clint Parks took it to Instagram to throw shade at LeBron James, questioning his performance and how he was not working hard enough to improve against opponents like Kawhi Leonard. Parks threw some serious shade on the King, saying he was scared of guys like Kawhi, only to be followed by Kuzma's really cryptic calling a spade tweet, which further added fuel to the fire. Subliminal shots is something that LeBron has anyway never responded to much. But could this really be the reason that Kuzma was traded from the Lakers and the mighty LeGM was at play? Guess we'll never know. Now moving to number 7, we have Enes Kanter, aka Enes Kanter Freedom, going once again versus the king himself, LeBron James. Another one-sided Twitter beef, which was more like a rant against LeBron by Freedom, wasn't a one-off, since he has anyway been critical of the NBA's record scorer for a while now, starting from criticizing LeBron's actions and political beliefs with regards to China, wearing shoes which had imagery of LeBron bowing to the Chinese PM, saying he had money over morals, and being highly critical of LeBron's anyway deemed problematic comments on Daryl Morey. LeBron had a rather casual response and said Kanter Freedom wasn't someone he'd give his energy to, and eventually the man was reportedly let go by the Houston Rockets for his controversial remarks. Quickly moving to number 6, we have the de facto divine power and the lord of Twitter beefs in the NBA world, the Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant. His first victim in a long line of those on this list is Shannon Sharpe, who for some reason fell prey to a fake Kevin Durant quote, which talked about his dominance over LeBron James after beating him in 2 finals. And Kevin Durant just did not hold back. KD called Shannon Sharpe a drunk uncle. He further called out the gullible fans who apparently believed the quote to be something KD was anyway thinking about, and then he called out Shannon once again, but to no avail as Shannon Sharpe refused to engage, after which he blocked KD on Twitter, with the latter poking fun at him for being sensitive. The god of Twitter beefs for a reason. Quickly moving to number 5, we have Andre Iguodala and Aerial Powers, and this is a Twitter battle one would have least expected. Andre Iguodala tried to pay his respects to Aerial Powers of the Washington Mystics, but what he did rather wrong was call her out by her jersey number rather than her name, at a time when the WNBA was anyway campaigning with the tagline, "Say her name," in response to the shooting of Breonna Taylor and standing in solidarity of black women undergoing police brutality. Ariel clapped back, tweeting that Iggy should put some respect on her name, to which Iggy replied saying, "No manners," and again it was Ariel who hit back with a ferocious tweet, even bringing back a controversial statement from Iggy where he had reportedly said that he wouldn't have wanted his daughter playing basketball out of fears of her becoming a lesbian. Even though Iggy tried to justify that the statement was out of context, that was not cool at all. And Ariel's rage was justified, as she quite openly cleared her stance on the issue, which was making a lot of news at the time. Jumping to number 4, we have Serge Ibaka beefing with Kendrick Perkins, where the latter took shots at his former teammate Ibaka and how he probably lied about his age in the NBA. And Ibaka did not take it well at all, and just clapped back at Perk with a fiery tweet which expressed his disappointment and apparent spreading of false information, saying why a guy who he shared his locker room with would do such a thing. He continued by saying that Perk wasn't a locker room leader and was critical of the stars on the team, further tweeting that Perk's take was disrespectful to Africans who had lived with that stereotype. Perk tried to put water on the flames by apologizing, saying it was a joke, and asking him not to take it seriously, and then throwing a wayward tweet about knowing what Ibaka was up to in that locker room. We don't know about you, but now we're curious as hell. So keeping the curiosity going and taking a moment before moving to our top 3, we would just be so thankful if you could like this video if you're enjoying it so far, hit the subscribe button to join our growing community, and also press that bell icon for notifications on whenever we upload new content. And let us know in the comments section which of the Twitter beefs mentioned in this video is your favorite. And now, our top 3 is a rather starstruck affair, beginning with Twitter beef god Kevin Durant going head-to-head against Michael Rapaport. Rapaport brought to Twitter the screenshots of an insane Instagram DM battle between him and KD, where KD had sent him multiple text messages which were highly degrading and offensive, taking shots at Rapaport with how his wife doesn't respect him, making homophobic remarks, calling him some really problematic things, and then some. KD tried his best to make it look like that the situation was in good humor, and he talked to Rapaport with even worse banter, which wasn't well received either. It all allegedly started with a really awkward interview between Charles Barkley and Kevin Durant, and KD just took it to the next level. This time, we'll probably deduct points for the really problematic homophobic remarks. Moving quickly to number 2, we have a rather unexpected contender in this list of Twitter beefs, featuring the most unlikely superstars in Joel Embiid and Hassan Whiteside. Hassan Whiteside took a shot at Embiid after a Twitter user pointed out to Joel Embiid to respect Whiteside after his apparently terrible stats. Embiid caught a sniff of this action and responded with his own clapback, explaining what the actual issue was and then called Whiteside a softie. Ouch! He further commented on how Whiteside was focused on his individual success rather than his team's, throwing a vicious shot by saying that his plus-minus was ass anyways. God damn! Joel the Trowell. Hassan and Embiid continued to trade shots until Embiid finally said in a hilarious post that his location was extremely ass when he was actually in Whiteside. Burn for the ages. Which finally brings us to number 1, and this distinction was gonna go to none other than Twitter beef god Kevin Durant, and this time he locked horns with Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins made the worst mistake to bait Kevin Durant, and KD wasted literally no time in ending the sheer existence of Kendrick Perkins with a vicious attack. Perkins started by saying Westbrook was the best player to suit up for the Thunder, including arguing with Mark D'Amico for it. Perkins walked into it quite literally when he highlighted their second-round playoff loss, and KD just jumped in to highlight his terrible stats for the same series. The tweet practically ended every debate there was, and even with Perkins trying to clap back by saying that KD had pulled off the weakest NBA move in changing teams and joining Golden State, but KD just responded with a yawning sloth, proving once again why the ever-petty Twitter beef god remains undefeated. And that finally brings us to the end of this video. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button to join our growing community, and also press that bell icon for notifications on whenever we upload new content. See you in the next one.